My first guest, Dara Davis Munson, COO of the
Southeastern Michigan.
Southeastern Michigan Girl Scouts of America. Now, how many of you out there were Girl Scouts? I know I was. I know my daughters were, and it's a wonderful organization. But a lot of times people don't know a lot about it as much as they need to know about it because it's a good thing for girls. But let's talk about Dara or Dara. Is it Dara?
Dara.
Dara,
Hmm.
that's what I thought. Let's talk about you, Dara. You grew up here in Detroit
I
or
am a native Detroiter.
native Detroiter, and where'd you go to high school?
Cass Tech. Of course.
Technician,
Of
another
course.
technician. And you went to
I
Eastern?
went to Eastern for my undergrad and Central for my graduate degree.
Great, great. And we happen to be a member of the same sorority,
Yes.
AKA,
Yes.
and we pledged in the same
That's
chapter.
right.
Oh,
That's
I'm
right.
excited about that because it seems like many of my guests sometimes end up being deltas, which is fine with me because we all
Absolutely.
have a lot of different friends.
Yes.
And Dara, after college, what did you do?
Initially, after college, I studied criminal justice.
Oh,
And initially, I went to work for the Wayne County Department of Community Justice. I was working in the jail, actually, right in Hamtramck, close by. And I was working with adult male felons. And at that point, I was working to help them satisfy the terms of their sentence. So if they needed GED or substance abuse or anger management or some type of therapy, I would help find those
did you
resources.
like it?
I did. I enjoyed that work, but honestly, Brenda, it felt like it was just a little bit too late. It was too late, and in my early 20s, I felt like I was too late in their lives to be as helpful as I wanted to be.
Okay, so you thought they were ingrained in their beliefs or their habits or
Well, I wanted to work at that point. What I learned was that I wanted to work with younger people. I
okay,
wanted to be a source of support
to get
earlier.
to them
Absolutely.
earlier, yes.
Yes. Yes.
And then what?
Well, then I went to work for young people. I worked for a program through Black Family Development called the Care Management Organization. And in that role, I was working to keep young people with their family, but it was a juvenile justice program. And
Right.
unfortunately, there were children who had been adjudicated for various crimes. And my team was to help find the right level of support for their adjudication.
Did you find success there?
Yes, yes, it was successful. Unfortunately, the truth is, when young people are introduced to the juvenile justice system, they tend to stay in it and they tend to matriculate into the adult justice system. So, after a few years of that, I had a similar feeling of it being too late and knowing the importance of family, wanting those young people to serve whatever term they had to be reunified with their family as quickly as possible. But what that did for me was spark an interest in funding and how funding dollars were distributed within the community. And I called around to several foundations and funders, and luckily, I don't know if you remember Virgil Carr at United
Of
Way.
course.
I had a few conversations with Virgil and was invited to work at United Way and was a funder. And that really gave me a broad perspective of the
Different
nonprofit
insight,
community.
yeah, into
Absolutely.
it.
And the professionalism, and that it can be a very lucrative, sometimes lucrative, but very solid career path. Leaning on your business acumen, but having care and concern for the community and understanding the way the nonprofit sector works
Right.
is what I learned at United Way.
And a lot of people don't understand the nonprofit sector.
Yes, yes,
I don't.
yes.
One day I'm going to have to get in serviced on that.
Organizationally, what the nonprofit sector provides to the community, I think is very, very critical. The funding, there's never enough funding. I will say
Never,
that there's never
never.
enough funding, even as a funder with a multi-million-dollar giving portfolio. Once you understand the most basic of needs that people have that are not being met, there's a level of support that individuals and families need in order not to survive but to thrive. And in learning that at United Way is what introduced me to Big Brothers Big Sisters. I was at Big Brothers Big Sisters as president and CEO for 7 years. which was a huge learning because I was considered myself very young when I took that position, and I didn't know what I didn't know, but I definitely grew in that position and understood what it meant to find my voice on behalf of young people who may not know theirs just yet.
Right.
And now I'm at Girl Scouts for Southeastern Michigan as Chief Operating Officer.
That's amazing because I look at your work history and I say she must be excellent at all of these things, especially to be president of Big Brothers Big Sisters, which is a wonderful program. I know we performed when I was teaching. My students would perform for. Well, I did drama, and they performed for some programs and everything. Because outreach is the thing, and it's the key. And everybody, all young people, don't have advantages.
Yes.
They don't have the opportunity to be exposed. And the more exposure people get, the bigger their world becomes. Don't you believe that?
Absolutely.
So now you're at Girl Scouts of America, and can you give my audience a little history of it?
Yes. Girl Scouts was actually founded in 1912 by Juliette Gordon Low. And what I find interesting about the founding of Girl Scouts and what we still do today is she was interested in exposing girls to things they would not otherwise be exposed to, things that were not available to girls and women. As simple as getting them outdoors, learning survival skills, learning leadership skills. Those are things that we actually still care about today, and we try to expose girls to, especially in the realm of introducing them to new opportunities and experiences that build their abilities, which builds their confidence, which helps them to become great leaders.
Right. Well, I guess they didn't feel that women, the public, the general public, felt that women had a place. And we know now, of course, that women being exposed, it helps the children too.
Yes.
When they eventually have children. So she exposed, this was 1915?
1912.
1912, geez. The organization is...
Over a century old, and she really was a trailblazer.
Wow. And what were well, you told me the objectives. So what are the age levels?
Right now, any girl from kindergarten through 12th grade can become a Girl Scout. And at this point, we serve roughly 23,000 girls and in southeastern Michigan.
Okay.
Would love to serve more.
Yes,
so
yes, and we're going to talk about
yes.
that. We're going to talk about that because we're talking about the good and what they're doing now, as a matter of fact. And one thing that Girl Scouts does do is help build character.
Absolutely. Our mission is to build girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place.
Absolutely.
That is our job.
Absolutely. And I know it's a little different than when I was a Girl Scout back in the day. The sure enough day. But it was just a wonderful organization, and I loved earning badges and stuff like that. And now, is there a limit to the number of girls that can be in a troop?
There's not a limit to the number of girls who can be in a troop. We do require, we do have a girl to adult to girl ratio, and we do have to have at least 2 troop leaders for a troop. But what's interesting and what you may be excited to know is girls can join troops. Girls can also join as Juliettes. So a young woman a Juliette is an individual member. So she can become a Girl Scout member, and if the troop experience is not what she wants, she can still go through she can still participate in some of our activities, still have the benefits of being a Girl Scout, but maybe not in the troop experience if a troop is not near her home, or for whatever reason a troop is not available. Girls don't have to only be in troops. They can be Juliette members, they can be individual members, and still get the benefits of being a Girl Scout.
How would one start a troop?
Well, what's lovely about that is Girl Scouts as an organization has following the leadership of Juliette Gordon Low, try to stay in step with what girls need. And we know that girls live in a world that is not physical and digital. They live in a world that their worlds are digital, right? So for us, we can see the difference between a physical and a digital world. Girls live in a digital world, and so we try to make sure that we are up with technology in order to support them. One of the ways of becoming a troop leader beyond the background check and the training,
Right.
we have tools where troop leaders of girls in grades K to 5 can actually plan their Girl Scout year all online. It's all digital. You can plan it. You can on your mobile device, your tablet, or your computer. In a very easy way. So you don't have to print out tons of materials. You can. It is there for you. The training. You can communicate with the parents of your troops. So we're trying to use technology to support troop leaders because we don't want it to be another job. We want it to be easy.
Easy, right.
We want
right.
it to be turnkey, and so we're providing the technology for that.
Wow. So, where do most of your troops emanate from? I mean, it's from schools or community centers, churches. Can you tell me?
The majority of our troops start in schools. The majority of our outreaches as Girl Scout staff and volunteers in charge of starting troops do those in schools. However, we have some very strong troops in churches. We have very strong troops in community centers. And so wherever girls are gathered is where we want to start a troop. It just tends to start from schools. Some troops meet in their troop leader's home.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah. Well, tell me now, with the first or second graders, aren't they brownies or something?
Yes, so our kindergarten and first graders are daisies.
Daisies.
Daisies, which, is when you see Daisy selling Girl Scout cookies, and I know we're going to talk about that, you almost have to buy them, right? Because they're so cute and they're learning all these skills.
Give me
as they
12
sell
boxes.
Cookies. Yes. So daisies are kindergarten and first graders. Brownies are second and third graders. Fourth and fifth graders are cadets. Juniors. Our middle school girls, which have my heart, are cadets, so that's 6th through 8th grade. 9th and 10th grades are seniors, and 11th and 12th grades are ambassadors.
Well, let's talk about some of the activities that today's girls are involved in.
I will say, the traditions that Girl Scouts is built on will remain. So camp will remain. Getting girls outdoors is very, very important. The traditions of songs, and of course cookies and crafts. So those are mainstays.
Well, I remember making an apron.
So the craft, right?
Yes.
So you learned a skill,
Yes,
right? Whether you were
yes.
artistic or not, you learn that skill,
Yeah.
and that's a memory that you have, which to
Right.
me is very, very powerful.
Yeah.
So those activities will stay. In addition to that, girls participate in all types of community service. We talked about finding your voice, and so they understand what they care about. We have 3 leadership keys: discover, connect, take action. Discover what you care about.
Right.
Connect with organizations and individuals and people who care about the same thing. And then take action on that. So you found your voice, and now take action to support the community. So Girl Scouts are continuing to do community service and support, but we also know we want them to have career exploration opportunities. We want them to learn about fields in STEM. We want them to learn about how to take their skills and abilities and apply them.
How do you? Okay, you mentioned STEM. How do you do that? How do you do that?
Well, one of the things that we are very thankful for is partnerships. And so we have partnerships with companies who first care about getting girls into STEM field, and they do career exploration workshops for girls so they can understand what is out there.
Explain to the audience what STEM is, please.
Science, technology, engineering, and math, right? And so girls unfortunately tend to shy away from, even in school you'll see girls tend to shy away from those, especially science and math. We see that. Well, you can be in a STEM field, you can work in a technology company and not be a techie. You may be a marketing expert who can
Absolutely.
understand how to talk to the world about that technology or that company. And so we need people to expose girls to science, technology, engineering, and math.
There's that word
fields.
again, expose.
Expose,
Expose,
yes.
and that's what's so wonderful. And in Detroit, we need more Girl Scout volunteers. We need more troops,
Yes.
don't you believe?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are definitely looking for, we want to serve more girls. We
Right.
want to serve more girls. Our total membership, girls and adults, is about 38,000, which sounds like a big number. But when you look at the market,
The southeastern Michigan.
that's right, in southeastern Michigan, we definitely want to serve more girls. And there are girls who definitely want to be Girl Scouts. The challenge, though, is that we need more volunteers. So we need
Absolutely.
more people, more women to step up and to volunteer. Again, we make it as seamless as possible, but we are looking for people to raise their hands to volunteer and or open the doors to their church so that we can talk to their congregations, open the doors to their companies. We will come in and do presentations to companies, staff meetings, affinity groups within companies to talk about how Girl Scouts can be, how they can be beneficial to Girl Scouts, but it also impacts the company. What we hear from volunteers is they join with the feeling of, I want to support girls, but they feel the benefit as much as the girls do themselves.
One of the things that's very worthwhile too about Girl Scouts is the fact that they have um, do so much community service. Tell our audience about some of the community service that the girls do.
Yes. In addition to the Take Action projects, or in addition to the badge earning, which some of the badge earning is community service, the girls who earn awards, which is our bronze, our silver, and our gold award, actually do that through community service projects. So I talked earlier about them finding their voice and what they care about. With that, they then plan out and execute a community service project. Additionally, we have council-wide community service projects. This year, our girls will also participate in the Detroit Free Press Marathon. So they'll be
Really?
volunteering. Some of them will be running, but
Are
they will
you
be
running?
volunteering. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about
Well,
it.
you better think quick because
It's coming up.
It's
It's
coming
coming up. So yes, community service is definitely a pillar of the Girl Scout experience.
wow, wow, that's excellent. So, in order to earn awards and badges, because that was a big thing, I had the sash, and you put the,
Yes, yes. Badge earning is actually skill building. So there are certain steps that girls have to go through to earn their badges. What's beautiful about it is girls can decide what badges they earn.
right, right.
And the badge topics can range from cooking to nature to technology to coding, computers, which I have no idea about, but it's a good skill to learn. So badges at every level range in topic. And what's important about the Girl Scout experience is that it's girl-led. So girls decide what their experience is. And so it's important for them as troops and as individuals to be able to decide what badges they want to learn.
Well, before we go on, let's tell the audience how they can become a volunteer or contact you guys so they want to start one maybe in their church
Yes.
or maybe the local recreation center and so forth. There are still some recreation
There are
centers
still some
here in
recreation
Detroit.
centers. Yes. The easiest way is to go to our website, which is gssem.org. And I'll repeat that, gssem.org. All of our volunteer experiences are on our website. All of our volunteer opportunities, I should say, are on our website.
Okay, okay. And because if I had time, that's something definitely I would do because it's just so great to see these young women blossom into and find out about things they didn't know about prior to coming into your organization. So, as far as the camping, let's talk about that real quick. Well, that wasn't my greatest experience, but it was an experience,
Yes. Yes.
being out in the wild.
Yes, and we still offer camping and other outdoor
But
activities,
people
outdoor
more,
experiences.
and I find more African Americans are camping.
Mm-hmm.
They are camping these days. So they still have, the troops still go camping.
We still have troop camping. We have weekend camping. We have camps that go throughout the summer that last for a week, and we have day camps. So we try to be very flexible depending on the experience that the girl or the family or the troop would like to have.
Right. So you said you have one troop that has 200 girls.
Yes, yes. We have a troop, an Arab American troop that has 200 girls. It is a powerful, powerful troop, and it just goes to show that we continue to be inclusive, and we can again. There is no limit on the number of troops, number of girls in a troop, and it really is one of our most active and enriching troops.
Wow. Now let's talk about cookies.
Yes.
Where do the profits from Girl Scout cookies go?
Well, the interesting thing is the cookie sale is actually almost 100 years old as well. The first cookie sale took place in 1917 in Oklahoma, and it was when a troop decided to bake cookies and to sell them to support their troop activities. And that is exactly what the cookie sale continues to do. Troops can sell cookies, and it is to finance their activities. The beauty of what's of that the cookie sale experience is girls can decide 5 years out we'd like to go to Chicago or Paris or Greece or Italy. So they have
Well,
really
speaking of
big,
that,
yes,
remember I told you I talked to one of my friends who was in Girl Scouts with me in grade school? They just came back 2 weeks ago from Italy. Their Girl Scout troop
yes.
actually went to Italy. She went with her daughter, who's one of the Girl Scout troop leaders, and her granddaughter, who's in Girl Scouts now. So in some families, it's just a tradition.
It is.
But the fact that they traveled over there, and they also went to Germany. They just really. I couldn't believe it. Girl Scouts are getting out like that.
Yes, yes, it's a beautiful thing for girls to decide we want to take a trip to whatever place in the United
Even go
States
to
or beyond
Africa.
or Africa,
Right.
and understand the goal setting that goes into that. How many boxes they need to sell for how many seasons, and if they want to contribute to their own trip, they can do that as well. So the cookie sale is definitely about cookies that we all know and love, and some of us have our favorites.
Yeah.
But it really is about the skills
Tell
that the
me,
girls
tell
learn.
me, why do people love those Girl Scout cookies so much? Because, like I said, there's some in our freezer. My daughter buys them from her job, and I remember selling like 300 and something boxes. The challenge of that was my children were still young. I had to hide those cookies because they were going down snatching cookies and eating them.
Yes, I think that,
And I had to pay
they're
out of my
delicious.
pocket for cookies I didn't eat.
Yes, yes, they are delicious, and I think people that definitely is a draw. But people understand that they are supporting
Right.
a financial literacy program. The Girl
Absolutely.
Scout Cookie Program is the largest financial literacy program for girls in the United States.
It is.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And our girls learn goal setting, decision making, people skills, money management, and business ethics through the Girl Scout cookie sale program. Now, those are just fundamental and foundational business acumen skills that we want all women, all people to have. And they're
Everyone.
learning these
Everyone.
right through an activity that funds their own Girl Scout experience.
Do you have time to be a Girl Scout volunteer or to help start a troop? Talk to a friend because, our legacy, part of our legacy is to help these young ladies and help, of course, young men. But right now we're talking about these young ladies build their character, learn so much about so many things
Yes.
and be exposed to so much. It's very important. So once again, that website is what?
It is gssem.org.
And that GSSEM is Girl Scouts of Southeastern Michigan.
Yes.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
All right, all
Absolutely.
right. And I'm so excited about it. And hopefully next year I'm going to get a chance to do some volunteer work
We would
with
love
it.
to have you.
And because I do drama, so
Oh.
that might be something that they would like.
You could do a badge workshop,
Oh, yeah,
a
that's
2 or
true.
3 hour badge workshop for a troop.
Oh,
They will
love
earn their
that.
badge.
They would love that because you have so much fun doing that and they role play and
Yes.
so forth and so on. It just gives them another type of experience. Dara, thank you so much.
Thank you for having
My
me.
Sora, and I
Thank
want to say
you.
hi to your mom, uh, Vernice Anthony. I just love her to death. I
I
told
do
you,
too.
she raised some beautiful children.
Thank you. Thank
I
you
really
very much.
applaud her. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It really doesn't.
Thank
That
you.
excellence. And now, a couple weeks ago, we talked about the Trinity International Film Festival. And sometime during this hour, we're going to show a couple of clips, a couple of trailers, because it's next week, and you know I have a film in there, so I want everybody to come. So we're going to take a break right now, and we're going to go to our next guest. Oh, well, I think we could show the trailers right now. One is In Trayvon's Footsteps, which is my film, and the other one is Tom and Jerry.
There, these thugs will take a second thought about some things.
These streets is more than just cold at night. They dangerous.
Mr. WXKT himself, news at 11. Told you, man, I'm your #1 fan.
You know, I really don't think the Martin family feels their son falls into the thug category.
Somehow things like the truth and justice just slip through the cracks.
I warned you! He had a hoodie on, man.